Hello and welcome to Almost Cult Classics, the podcast. We're doing something different for right now. We're going to just not really talk about a movie, but kind of give an update on what we're working on, movies we've seen recently, and such. So my name is Joe Ramone, and I am joined by my co-host, Ryan Lancello.
Howdy, folks.
And I want to start talking about something on the video channel that I do, Hats Off Entertainment, which I'm assuming some of you came to this podcast from, and then, others discovered it through that. If you haven't, I do run a YouTube channel called Hats Off Entertainment where I talk about movies, and this podcast was kind of born out of that. But recently I did a video that explored the lost version of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Arguably the best Thanksgiving movie. There's not many to begin with, but it's up there. And I did a video that basically took John Hughes's original shooting script and cues that were kind of left in the movie that I found strange and tried to piece together the lost version of this movie. That scenes were cut. And you watched it for the recently.
Oh, I mean, as a youth, I had seen the movie a ton of times. My girlfriend hadn't seen it, so I showed it to her. And it was funny, I had watched your video before we watched it, and a lot of people, before we recorded this, I wanted to take the wind out of your sails a little bit and shit on you, because I like to do that. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, you got to keep me real.
Sure. But, everyone was saying, like, oh, wow, we love this movie. It's such a perfect movie. Oh, we wish there was more. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, it's a perfect movie. You don't need more. Well, I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles again after many years, and it could use more. Joe was actually really on it in his video. And not only that, I don't think you need a 3-hour cut of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think an extra 20 minutes, 30 minutes would, I don't know, even that's 20 minutes would do it.
Yeah.
I really think it would fill out all the things you nailed in your video, and I was wrong.
Well, so the big things I talked about in the video were there is a sequence cut in the motel, the first motel room they stay in. There's an entire sequence cut of them ordering pizza and the pizza man getting stiffed and everything.
Well, it just explains so much with the wallet and the card. Like that comes up later and it's confusing.
Well, here's something that I didn't address in the video. I wanted to, but I was like, I'm running short on time. Is when Steve Martin gets out of the shower and sees the bathroom is destroyed. And you're thinking, well, didn't he realize that when he went into the shower?
Yes.
In the script and film, and I put it in the video, there's scenes of John Candy using dental floss. He comes into the bathroom. At one point, Steve Martin turns out the shower and sees Dell on the toilet and realizes he's in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. So Dell does that while Steve Martin's in the shower.
Right.
There's also a sequence where Steve Martin finds a hole in the shower and looks through it and sees someone in the room next door. Like, there's little things like that they're thrown in.
That can be cut.
Yeah.
But there's weird continuity issues.
I agree.
I totally forgot about in the movie. And you make a good case for a longer cut.
Well, and here, this gets even stranger. People started to email me and leave comments that, and it could be a Mandela effect thing, but they swear that they saw some of this deleted stuff.
Well, I told you that scene where they're on the airplane with the food.
Right.
Well, the first time I saw the movie, I assumed I watched it on broadcast TV. I saw that scene. So when I went to watch the movie again, I'm like, where the fuck is this scene? Where is the brownie? Where is the lasagna? Where is the bun?
Yeah, it's a great scene.
It's a 3-minute long scene. It's not long. To cut that out of the movie, I found that very, very peculiar. That was baffling to me.
Yeah, so what I found out in doing research before and after this, and I was telling Ryan a little bit about this earlier, is that John Hughes notorious for shooting multiple reels of footage, just insane amounts of footage, and would then cut it down. And whether his cut, and I started this hashtag, I didn't start it, but when the video started getting hits, people hopped in to release the Hughes Cut hashtag. And I think the Hughes Cut exists. I think what the Hughes Cut is, it's what we're talking about. It's an additional 20 minutes of footage that explains some of this stuff. Because as much as I'm sure John Hughes wanted to just get the film cut and released in a simple manner, I think he was still a man that prided himself on things making sense. And I think that he probably, the fact that this airplane scene kind of made it out, it's very strange.
It is odd, but why was that added?
Yeah. And so here's what else I found out. The movie runs a total of 93 minutes. It's an hour and 33 minutes. And I just, for the hell of it, was like, let me go and look on and see VHS what the times are. The Australian VHS is 89 minutes. So there's something weird happening.
89.
And I wanted to buy it and look and see what's there. Because I am under the impression, and there's people that have backed me up on this, that essentially what happened when the film got sold into syndication and cable, they started putting in deleted scenes to pad out the commercials and make sense. So there are probably people that have, recorded versions off the TV of this that have this footage on it. I'm convinced it's out there. And the only one that for some reason made it was the airplane scene. But there are cuts of this movie in people's basements and attics on VHS tapes.
Hey, all points bulletin to our listeners. I love my Australian friends.
I'm being serious, and not even Australian. If you think you have a cut of this movie that you taped off cable,
yeah, get it to us.
Find it. If you downloaded a version on LimeWire in the early 2000s, find this weird shit. Take a look at the movie and see what's there.
Is it almostcultclassics.com?
Yeah, almostcultclassics.com. You can contact me directly at hatsoffent.com. I check the YouTube comments. I'm pretty readily available on Twitter.
Twitter's good, but any scoops or anything, hit us up on that email.
Yeah, I mean, essentially what I'm going to do, and I don't think Paramount's ever going to take the initiative to do it, but I'm going to do my best to establish that missing 20 minutes because I think that's accurate. I think John Hughes did, want this movie to make sense.
There's about 3 things in the movie that don't make sense,
and I have spoken to his son through this, and he almost confirmed that he grew up watching a longer version of this film. So it's out there. Check your attic, check your basement. I know me as a kid, my family taped everything off cable.
Yeah, we had everything taped.
You can go through my attic now. You'll find a tape that says Jurassic Park / Groundhog Day / Ghostbusters 2. Like it was just, you would just keep recording stuff.
/ Anal Sluts 9.
Well, that would be my dad. He was it'd be taped over. So that's that with Hats Off. That's what I got going on with Hats Off. I would love some help with that if you can check that out. But then, yeah, we just kind of want to do these little, I don't know, maybe bi-monthly or not even that, just to kind of catch up, talk about stuff that doesn't relate to the movies on the podcast.
Yeah. What are you watching? You see anything interesting lately?
So I watched, this is a big one, and we talked about it, but not on the podcast. I watched Citizen Kane for the first time.
Oh, for the first time?
For the first time. I had never seen Citizen Kane. And I was very impressed visually. I was very impressed by the acting. It's not my type of movie. It's not the type of movie that I grew up watching. I appreciate it from a filmmaking standpoint. I don't think it's a movie I will watch again anytime soon. But the fact that he did that at such a young age, I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah, 25 years old.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I like the movie a lot. But I say this to people who are trying to get into cinema that's maybe before 1990, quite frankly. You have to take the era it was made and things like that into account, because pacing is going to be a lot different in these older movies. Everything's going to be a lot different. So you have to kind of submerge yourself in that era a little bit to not enjoy it more, but maybe appreciate it more. But even that said, I mean, at a certain point, these movies become academic. And you can, like you said, you appreciate it, what it was doing.
Well, you said something to me when I was texting you about this after I watched it. I texted you, and you said something along the lines of, every movie you enjoy today owes it something. What do you mean by that?
Basically, every modern movie making technique debuted in Citizen Kane. Not every, but it was all. If you watch Citizen Kane, every movie trick, for lack of a better term, that was used after Citizen Kane started in Citizen Kane.
Well, going into it, I mean, I knew.
I mean, and not to cut you off. I mean, like angles, lighting, all that stuff. It was very innovative for its time. It was extremely innovative. That's all.
Well, I knew going into it how it ended. I knew what Rosebud meant. So I don't know if that I'm sure like at the time in movie theaters when that came out, like that was like blew people's minds.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure that reveal was great.
Can I say this? You know what's really funny? It shows that people don't watch these movies or they don't understand context. I always see, so in the movie, Charles Foster Kane, he gets married to this young girl at one point, and he's going to make her an opera star, and she can't sing.
Yeah,
she stinks. So there's that scene. I always see it used as a GIF online when someone makes a good point, and then they have to put the clapping gif of him clapping up in the stands.
I've never seen that. You and I have different circles online.
Really? Yeah, I'm a fucking lunatic. But I used to, not anymore. I don't see it as much because I think people got the, like, it's him where he's up in the clapping, you know, up in the band or the whatever, the balcony.
Yeah.
And it's like, they always use that as, oh, as a person applauding you. But I'm like, he's angrily and like in the movie, he
knows what's going on.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care that she sucks. Like, everyone must applaud with me. Like, and so I will applaud hardest and loudest. It's just weird. I always noticed that got totally lost, that context. He's not happily applauding.
No, he's
her.
not.
Good film though. But to what you said, I caught a few things that you know, I had never watched, and these are classic, you know, touchstone films. You must watch these movies.
Touchstone meaning Disney, the label.
I knew you were going to do that.
Ernest Goes to Camp.
I used the wrong word there. But I watched 1950s Rashomon by Akira Kurosawa, which I liked. It's of its era, though. Like, it's not one of my favorite movies by any means, but the importance of it and what it's doing, I could totally appreciate that and understand it.
And that's on HBO Max at this point?
Yeah, I was trying to watch a movie a night. I'm kind of trying to keep up with that, but HBO Max has a ton of old shit, and that's kind of, I'm trying to beef up things that I
think they have a deal with Criterion. I think they're
Criterion and TCM. They have a collection, but honestly, as I'm a little older, I'm kind of happy I didn't watch. You can appreciate things when you're young. No, like I remember when I was forcing myself to watch movies when I was 13 that I was like they were going way over my fucking head.
Tell the audience what you went to the movies to see with as a.
So I don't know. Maybe we were, 13, 14. We went and saw me and I think a couple buddies. I don't know. There's definitely one. Definitely Ryan Downey. Went and saw A Civil Action. It's a good movie. You always find this so funny.
It's just so funny. At 13, you went and saw it.
It is humorous to think of a couple of 13-year-old boys going to the theater to see A Civil Action starring John Travolta.
You know what I was seeing at 13?
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I was seeing Norbit.
You know, Norbit might be one we got to do on the podcast. I have a feeling I
would like to do Norbit, actually.
Not as bad.
I haven't seen it since that. I was telling someone this the other day.
I've never seen it.
And there is a shot in Norbit where earlier in the film, you know, Eddie Murphy plays this obese woman who's like really, really terrible. Her name is Rasputia.
Rasputia, that's what it was.
In the movie, she runs over a dog. And then later in the movie, she goes through a water park. And the joke is she gets on the slide at the water park and she breaks through the barrier at the end of the slide. And the shot is of her in an empty kiddie pool with a little boy. And she just looks at him and goes, "How you doing?" That's her catchphrase. And then the next shot is of the pug she ran over earlier, but he's in one of those dog wheelchairs. And I just remember in the theater, like that back-to-back things happening, people were in the aisles. Like people were going nuts.
Dying,
to this
laughing.
day, I have never seen a comedy cut that heightened it that much. People were losing their shit. But yeah, I would be interested to revisit Norbit. I think Eddie Murphy's great.
I think Norbit's going on there.
That's put Norbit on the list.
Norbit's going on the list.
I'm a big fan of Dolomite Is My Name. I know you haven't seen it yet. It's
it's
really
so
good.
funny too because I'm such a blaxploitation fan.
It's so good.
I'm avoiding it because I'm like,
it won't disappoint you. It's really good.
Okay, I'll check it out. I love Wesley Snipes too.
Yeah,
so
he's good.
I fucking love Wesley.
But real quick too, before you finish your list, when Filmstruck was a thing, Ryan and I shared an account, and I
forgot about this.
I had just gotten it, and I was like, whatever, I'll check it out. And I added like a few Chaplin films. They had some Howard Lloyd stuff on there, maybe a W.C. Fields flick.
Yeah, because you make a list, a watch list.
You have a queue, and I added maybe 10 things. And I told Ryan, I said, hey, look, I got Filmstruck. Here's the password. Go on and check it out. I got home, and the list was then 102 films. And it was all this foreign Japanese stuff and movies I'd never heard of, movies that were in different titles not in English. And that just shows you where you and I are at in terms of our differences.
You know what's funny? Guess how many of those movies I put on that list that I watched on Filmstruck?
0.
You got it.
Yeah, I know that.
I'm lazy.
Not even Hopscotch. I think that was the one that you and I could have agreed on.
Well, it's funny too because I don't know if I fell asleep or I was drunk. I don't even remember, but I never finished that movie, and I really got to go back and watch that because I was enjoying it. It's really good.
Yeah, Filmstruck was cool. It's a shame it's not around anymore, because it didn't just take Criterion; it took a bunch of stuff into account. It was really cool.
Filmstruck was great.
I actually just got signed up for Criterion streaming. It's cool. It's not like Filmstruck.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah.
I might do it at some point, but we'll see. But yeah, I watched Rashomon. I'm going to watch more Kurosawa. He's very good. Like, it's a good movie. I understand its historical importance. So in that sense, I get it. The other one I watched I unfortunately went to film school, and this is always the film school choice and blah, 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 blah. And I've always slept on Jean-Luc Godard for years. But I finally watched 1960s Breathless. You can see why it was so important when it came out at the time. Did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I love it? Nah, I don't know if I loved it. You're starting to see the protagonist, the sociopath protagonist, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
Of who just, this is the movie came out in '60. And another one I finally watched Terrence Malick's first movie, Badlands.
Wow, you're really digging deep there.
Oh yeah. I can't help it. HBO Max has a lot of really good movies on it, and like I'm old enough now that I can fucking watch these movies and kind of get
Watch Safety Last. It's Harold Lloyd. It's
okay, yeah. It's on my list. No, it's on my list. Don't worry, yeah. But it's funny because Breakfast
Club.
Jean-Luc Godard's Breakfast.
Jean Hughes.
Yeah, Jean Hughes.
Yeah.
But it's funny because Breathless and Badlands, they're male protagonists. They're just really kind of like, I don't know. It's like The Stranger, like Albert Camus. Like what is life? Like, who cares? Like, so you're starting to see that, in the '60s leading into the '70s, that kind of aimless, like, what is life? Who gives a shit? Like, who cares what I do? You know what I mean? You're just on to the next thing. And, it's something I've always watched a lot of. The Europeans do this a lot. And I get why it doesn't play over here. European cinema can be very aimless. They kind of meander through things.
They take their time.
They have like a little dinner. A lot of these movies have like a little dinner scene where everyone's just bullshitting. And it's like, I can get into that. I can totally understand why that shit don't play over here in America.
Yeah.
Because it's just not the way we think. It's not how we've made movies. It's a different pace of life.
Yeah, we have different ways of
So it's fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I watched Irma Vep, which was an Olivier Assayas movie from 1996. It's French, and it's kind of about French cinema. But what it is it's Maggie Cheung, who was a Hong Kong actress. She's been in Jackie Chan movies and stuff. You know Maggie. You've all seen her. She goes to France to make a movie, and she's going to play the title character, Irma Vep. So it's very contextually French. So I grew up in Philly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what goes on in Marseille or Paris or whatever, but it's fun to watch these movies, and you may not understand everything, but you're kind of getting another point of view. It's interesting. I don't know. It's fun. You don't need to understand everything. You can always go and look and research more and learn more. That's the cool thing about movies. They expose you to weird shit.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you ever modify your top 5?
I don't have a top 5. I don't have a top 10. I don't have a top anything. I don't like that. So yes, I do.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what you're saying.
Yes,
you shuffle a top 5.
Always. I don't have a top movie.
Okay.
I can't pick one.
Okay, that's fair. I for the longest time I included Goonies on my top 5, and I rewatched it.
Goonies sucks.
You've never seen it.
I've
I know
seen
for a
parts.
fact.
I
Yeah,
never
you've
got
seen
into it. I
parts.
always turned it off.
And I hit a point where I was like, okay, this movie isn't for me anymore. And you know what? I might put in my top 5.
Wait. Why is it not for you anymore?
It's very juvenile. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me of my childhood, but it's not a movie like I enjoy like bringing into a discussion when I talk about my top 5 favorite movies.
No.
I might put Midnight Run on my top 5.
It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
It's another one. Martin Brest. Gigli.
Yeah, what happened to him?
Gigli.
Is that like he just want to walk away, or people don't have any to do anything anymore?
So you guys will hear this. I think we might put this out before our next episode.
I think so.
We're going to do Cabin Boy.
Yeah, we just did Cabin Boy, so it's coming soon.
Cabin Boy really fucked up Chris Elliott, who stars in it, and Adam Resnick, who was his writing partner, and he directed it. The movie bombed so bad it fucked their careers up. Gigli is extremely similar in the sense that it's probably, I've seen parts of it. It's not the worst movie in the world, but it was so reviled and it became shorthand for a bomb. So it used to be Cabin Boy. Oh, your movie your movie bombed. At least it wasn't Cabin Boy. Well, now when your movie bombed, at least it wasn't Gigli.
Yeah.
And it ruined Martin Brest's career. Martin Brest, who did Midnight Run, Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, the
Son
guy
of a woman.
He was no slouch.
Yeah.
And it's weird that you're just done.
Yeah, and you know what?
I don't know. I think he's worked somewhat after that, but nothing. Not even close.
We talked about the beginning of Thanksgiving movies. I put Son of Woman as like a great Thanksgiving movie. I mean, it's about Thanksgiving. It's part of the plot.
Joe, I've never seen it.
You've never seen Son of a Woman?
Nope.
Oh my God. What are you doing with yourself?
I'm watching Irma Vep, apparently.
Apparently. But yeah, Martin Brest, I think all I was saying was that I believe that Midnight Run inched its way onto my top 5 just because I appreciate it more. The older I get, the more I appreciate Midnight Run.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. And it's just funny. It's quick. It's
before I got here, I glanced at my Twitter, which I rarely use, but I saw you pop something up with Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, so apparently Christopher McDonald, they made 3 TV sequels to Midnight Run.
Meaning what? Like as a series or like TV movies?
They're TV movies.
Oh, you got to do a video on this.
I will. Yeah, I will for sure.
I don't want to do that. You got it. That's a video.
I will. It's a Forgotten Failures for sure.
Oh boy.
And they all have Midnight Run in the title, so it's like Midnight Run for your life. Like it's all like.
You think can you find them?
Yeah, you can find them. They released a DVD with everything.
Oh, you got to get those.
Yeah. I would love to see them.
Was it such a good movie?
And
Does Martin Brest have any involvement with the show?
No.
Oh boy.
I know this is maybe going about like 5 years ago. De Niro said he was doing a second Midnight Run about. It was going to be the Duke's son needs help, and Ryan's shaking his head because he's been checked out De Niro for a long time.
Man, he really needs that divorce is killing him. He needs money.
You know what I want to ask you about too, because we talked about doing it for the podcast. Is what do you make of this Godfather Coda?
I like 3. I don't know. I'm a 3 defender.
Are you going to watch? Are you going to check it out?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I
but like what? I haven't seen the Godfather 3. So like, what do you think can really be fixed in that movie via editing?
Well, the big. I mean, everyone always says this, so I'll just jump on the bandwagon. Sofia Coppola's acting is not great. She's just not very good. Otherwise, I don't know. From what I remember, I liked the movie.
Okay.
It's a weird plot. See, here's the thing. I think people got thrown off by the plot. The whole thing is Michael Corleone, Al Pacino's character, is now he's taking the final push to legitimize the family.
Okay.
And he's basically getting involved with Immobiliare, I think I'm pronouncing that right, which is the Vatican bank. It's a Byzantine plot line. There's a lot of you're getting into financials and economics and where money moves and what moves money in the world. It's a bit of an odd plot. Not only that, he did the movie he had to. His back was against a wall.
Well, I heard too that a lot of people just don't like Sophia in it, and they don't like that he just didn't give what's his name the money he should have.
Oh, Robert Duvall.
Robert Duvall.
That was a misstep. He should have been in the film.
Of course.
It was odd. That said, it's not a bad movie. Godfather 3 might be one for the podcast.
Yeah, I would like to check it out. Did you happen to know, because I this came up somewhere on Twitter or something, that apparently before they got Francis Ford Coppola to do it, they were trying to get Stallone to make Godfather 3 with John Travolta and Eddie Murphy. I'm not kidding you.
Hey, maybe you could, I'll make you an offer. Maybe, I don't know, you can't refuse or something. I'm not going to do Eddie Murphy.
John Travolta was going to play Michael Corleone's son.
Yeah,
and it was
totally.
It was going to take place in like the 80s. And I looked it up. Apparently, it was a thing. Stallone was in talks, and it fell through. But they were trying to maybe do it that way. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's one I think we might check out. I guess Norbit now we're going to check out.
Norbit's on the list. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to go through real quick. I took some notes the other day about possible podcast discussions. Never Say Never Again. I thought that might be an interesting one. That's the James Bond movie made with Sean Connery after he was not James Bond anymore. That was independent of the MGM films.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Irvin Kershner does it. So that's...
Oh, I didn't even... Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Is he Bond?
Sean Connery.
Is he Bond in the middle?
Yeah.
That's weird because the Broccoli's have such a weird control.
Oh yeah,
over
so
that.
Apparently what happened with this, there was some lawsuit and they got the rights to, I think it's Diamonds Are Forever. They got the rights to that, so they remade it with Sean Connery in the 80s. Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
That could be interesting.
Which is John Carpenter.
Yeah, I like John Carpenter, and I'm not a huge Chevy Chase fan. And the only thing I remember from that movie Wait, no, it wasn't that. It was Modern Problems.
Modern Problems. It's like
Where
kind of he gets powers.
The woman the orgasm.
Yeah, he can like point to her and give her an orgasm.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Ugh.
And I remember being very young, and I was like, "What is this? What am I watching?"
I was thinking maybe Leif Stinks.
That would be interesting because it's not a parody. Yeah.
And Big Trouble.
You know what's funny? I actually like Sonnenfeld. I've seen that movie in theaters. And
Wow.
did I see? I'm surprised. I don't know if I suggested that to you.
Is that an Elmer Leonard, or does it just feel like made of that
I
world?
think it just feels like.
Okay.
I don't quote me on that. Oh no! I'm sorry. It's a Carl Hyacin.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
similar.
he writes in that Elmer Leonard-ish.
So we
And
have
Sonnenfeld obviously did Get Shorty, so he
Get
put
Shorty.
Elmer Leonard. Big Trouble's a good one. I like that movie.
yeah.
I think it's a
come
good
back to that
movie.
one. So I think next we're doing a movie Ryan's wanted to do for a long time, which you'll find out at the end of Cabin Boy. Which do you want to
Tease them. Fuck
tease
'em.
them? All right. So when our Cabin Boy
Listen to
episode comes
Cabin
out,
Boy and you'll know. Yeah.
you're gonna find out what comes up next. Then as we get more into December, I believe we're going to do the Iced Harvest.
Yeah, we'll do one or two Christmas ones.
Yeah.
Ice Harvest for sure.
Yeah, Ice Harvest. We
'Cause
want to talk
it's-
about Howard Ramis a little bit, and we want to
Just
talk
the
about.
fact that no one fucking that Ice Harvest movie.
No one talks about that anymore.
Nobody talks about it.
And yeah, so that we'll watch year one, and we'll.
I'm not watching your. Oh, you might. I don't know.
No, I'm not gonna watch your one.
I was pumped for that movie, and I heard it was fucking.
I saw it in theaters.
terrible.
It was a disappointment.
Was
and it's
it?
sad that that's his last.
Is it
film.
really?
And it's his last film as an actor, his last film as a director. So it's sad.
Yeah,
but
that's all right. Whatever.
Ice Harvest is a good one to go out. A good one to talk about. And yeah, so look forward to our Cabin Boy episode. I think I'm going to put this out first. Again, this is something that we just might try every now and again, just a little catch up, talk about what I'm working on, talk about what we've seen recently.
Yeah, I'm going to continue trying to watch a movie a night, so we'll have shit to talk about.
Ryan will talk more about his insane film theory and artsy films he's watching.
Hey, also, by the way, Breathless. Totally check it out. You can see why Jean-Luc Godard became what he was.
And check out Midnight Run for Your Life. That's going to star Christopher McDonald, and it came out in 19-something. Anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.